Hello. Last class we have seen that steps in production planning and control. So today we will be knowing that another one steps or part that is our sequencing. Okay. So in production planning and control, sequencing is one important tool. Like scheduling, sequencing is also important tool. তো এখানে আমাদের সিকোয়েন্সিং অ্যাকচুয়ালি ইন সিকোয়েন্সিং হোয়াট হ্যাপেন্স it is defined as the order in which different jobs to be processed on different machine so that the ideal time of job and machine is minimized. Means we have to make some sequencing or some order of job to be processed on different machine so the ideal time of the job and machine is minimized. Means our machine and job should not be at ideal condition. Okay, so this is an important tool for smooth flow of materials and optimum use of manpower. Okay, so we can say that it is defined as the order in which different job to be processed on different machine so the idle time of job and machine is minimized. Okay, so this is our sequencing. So it is important for a smooth flow of material and optimum use of manpower and machine. Okay, so it is important for smooth flow of materials and optimum use of manpower and machine. Okay, so this is our sequencing. So now we'll see one sequencing for that. Sequencing can be done for in job one machine. Means we have one machine and there is a suppose 10 number of job. So out of the 10 number job, which job shall we make or produce first so that ideal time for machine as well as the jobs be optimum or minimize. Okay, so and that number of job in and machine also can be increased. Suppose we have 10 job and 10 job should process in 2 machines or 3 machines. So which job first go to machine 1, which job first go to machine 2, all those things we need to decide by this sequencing. So let's see one problem, that is our sequencing of this is a sequencing of n job on 2 machine, sequencing of n job on 2 machine. Okay, so let's see the problem. So here I have taken one problem. This problem I have 6 job here given 1 2 3 4 5 6. There is a 6 job and all the 6 job should process in machine 1 and machine 2, and it is given in machine 1 the processing time for job 1264 has given. The unit may be days or may hour, whatever may be. okay, and processing time in M2 is given this one. So these are the processing time in machine 1, machine 2, and jobs are given. Okay, so you have to make one sequence so that idle time for machine 1 and machine 2 as well as all the jobs are minimized. Okay, so that we have to make. So for doing this, first our steps, what first we need to make a rectangular block equal to the number of job. Okay, so we have here 6 number of jobs, so let's make a 6 rectangular block. So the number of job equal to our number of block rectangular box. Suppose 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. This will give the sequence of the job which will go first in machine 1 and then machine 2. So we made it. Now at the left, that out of this rectangular box, at the left side you mark as a machine M1. Okay, similarly at the right side you mark as a machine M2. I mark machine 1 and machine 2 so that we have to mark machine 1 which will go first in machine 1, that will put in this side, and the job which will go in machine 2, that will write from this side. Okay, so let's see the next step. And next step, out of the processing time machine 1, machine 2, for all M1, M2, the value for which job will be minimum, we have to find the minimum, means find out the minimum value of M1 and M2. So here if we see, minimum value is 3 at M1, minimum value is 3 at M1, and the corresponding job is our 4, job number 4. Okay, so we can say that our minimum value is 3 for job number 4. Okay, so first in machine 1 and left side I will put here as a 4, means our job 4 should go first at machine 1. Okay, it is clear. Now if the minimum machine M1, then put that particular job here, it is completed. Now I need to strike out this job so that it should not again considered, it should not considered again. So that's why what I will make, I will strike out, because I have completed the sequencing of this. Okay, so no need to make it. So now in next step again we will find the minimum of M1 and M2, and next if we see, we will get minimum value is 4. This 4 we have minimum value, and this 4 is come under M2, means in machine 2, and corresponding to this 4 we have job number 3. So that job number 3 will come at the right side in machine 2 position. Okay, so I will put this as a 3. Is it clear? So now we have taken this job number 3, so we need to strike it out. Okay, so now we will move to the next value. So next if we see, next we have this 5, next we have 5, and it is on machine M1 and corresponding job is 2. So similarly it is machine M1, so our job number 2 will come in machine 1 side, so here I will put this as a 2. Okay, so again strike it out. Next see, next we have number 6. Okay, so in number 6 this is all coming on machine 2 and the corresponding job is job number 5. So in the sides of machine 2 we'll put next job, that is job number 5. Okay, so then again strike it out. Next we have that 7 is the minimum number, for this also 7. Now let's see, this become tie. This become tie means both the job number 1 and job number 6 are having same processing time in machine 2. So now which one should I take? So it is confusing and it is difficult. So for that we have to see in corresponding job for machine 1, processing time of machine 1. So here if you see, the processing time for machine 1 is 8 for job 1 and 11 for job 6. So the processing time which will be lesser for machine 1 will be taking that job and will put this job on the sides of machine M2. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to see or check the processing time in machine 1 for the 2 job, and we will find the minimum processing time and that corresponding job will put on the sides of machine 2. Okay, so here our job number 1 is having 8 processing time and job number 6 is 11 processing time. So this is minimum, so we will take job number 1 and we will put in the sides of M2. Okay, so this is our job number 1. So now strike it out, only remaining 6 number job or number 6 is available, so we'll put the remaining box, that is our 6. Okay, so then we strike out. So we have completed the 6 job, that sequence will be there. If we make the sequence of processing the jobs from machine 1 to machine 2, then our idle time for machine 1 as well as job will be our that is minimum. Okay, so we can say sequence, or here the sequence of job from machine 1 to machine 2 is 426153. 426153. Okay, so this is the sequence. Okay, so another one thing I said, that if here only we have 2 tie, if both the machine 1 also there is 11 for job 6 and job 1 also 11, then you can choose anyone, you can take anyone, you can put, that is no problem. But for this only one machine tie, so we have to consider the another machine, which one will be the minimum processing time, that will put on machine 2. And if same thing happen for machine 1, suppose here 8, here also 8. Okay, so now we will see that which one will be minimum for M2, then we will put on the side of M1, we will put on the side of M1, same thing. Okay, so this is the sequence and how to find the sequence for in job 2 machines. Okay, so this we got sequence. After that we have to determine that different value or different terms we have. We will see that total processing time will be how much, and what are the job flow time, different parameters is there. So for that we will see the next thing. So next for doing the next part of this problem, first we have to make a box like that. First we need to make a box like this. Okay, so first our job number, now we need to write the job number such that or according to this sequence. Okay, so there we got the sequence. First our job number 4. Okay, next we have job number 2, then we have job number 6, then we have job number 1, then we have job number 5, and then we have job number 3. Okay, so this is our job number. So by writing this, you can make again these boxes so that it will be easier, otherwise directly we can make. Okay, so if you want to make the sequence, you can make this sequence like this. This is job, this is M1, M2. So we can write job M1 and M2. Our sequence is 4, then we have 2, then we have 6, then 1, then 5, then 3. Now we will write the processing time. Job 4. Now let's see job 4. Job 4, machine 1 processing time is 3. Machine 2 processing time is 14. Then we have job 2. Job 2 processing time in machine, that is our 5, and M2 8. Job 6 we have 11, then we have 7. Okay, job 1, here machine 1 8, here 7. Job 5, machine 1 10 and machine 2 6. Job 3, machine 1 12 and this is our 4. Okay, so this we can make the sequence. Then we'll move to the next table. Okay, so next part. So now we'll see, let's see job 4. At which time it will enter into the machine? In time of the machine. So that in time of the machine at job 1, tell me, in time means 0. When we have 0, then it will come 0. Okay, and when it will go out of machine 1, so it will go out of machine 1, the processing time in machine 1 is how much? That is 3. So it will take 3 hours or 3 days, whatever it may be. So 3 hours suppose. So 3 hours. After 3 hours you will go out from the machine 1. So you can write 0 plus 3 is equal to 3. So at 3 hours it will go. Okay, so next, when this job number 4 will enter into machine 2. So now you can see that machine when it will complete in machine 1, then only it can enter into machine 2. So 3 hours, after 3 hours it will enter into machine 2. So entering time for machine 2 is 3. And when it will go out of machine 2, so you see in machine 2 the processing time is 14 for our job 4. So we can write 3 plus 14, and after 17 hours our job number 4 will go out from machine 2. So in between, what is the idle time? Idle time means simply it is sitting, no work is doing. Okay, so idle time of M2, we are finding idle time of M2, machine 2. So now see, for machine 1 that it is started at 0 hours, so there is a no idle time for M1, but machine 2 started after 3 hours, means 0 to 3, that 3 hours it is in idle condition. So that's why idle time for machine 1 is 3. Now machine 2 is 3. Idle time for machine 2 is 3. Okay, so now next similar manner we have to do for job number 2. For job 2, let's see that job 2, when it will enter into the machine 1. So when job 4 will go out from machine 1, then only job 2 can enter into machine 2. Okay, so that is, it is at 3 hours, and when it go out, so job 2 processing time in machine 1 is 5. So you can write 3 plus 5 is equal to after 8 hours. Okay, so job 2 go out from machine 1 after 8 hours. Okay, then it may enter into machine 2, but machine 2 is not empty, machine 2 is working condition, and after 17 hours only it can be free, or it may be free. So after 17 hours it is free. So our job 2 enter into machine 2 at 17 hours or after 17 hours. Okay, so now job 2 enter at machine 2 at 17th hours. So our processing time at machine 2 is 8. So 17 plus 8, this is our 23. So what is the idle time for machine 2? Now see, job 4 left machine 2 at 17th hours and job 2 enter at 17th hours. So what is the idle time? There is a no idle time. 17 hours it is free, and 17 hours that job 2 has come. So there is a no idle time. So there is a no ideal time. Okay. So next, coming to 6, job number 6, when it will enter in machine 1? 8, after 8 hours. So after 8 hours it will enter. And when it will go out? So jobs 11. So we have 8 plus 11, and that is 19 hours. So now job 6 is free at 19 hours. So it is free at 19 hours. So it may enter into M2, but M2 is not free. It will be free after 23 hours. So job 6 has to wait, and it may enter or it may go in M2 only at 23th hours. So or after 23th. So 23th. Now what is the processing time for job 6? That is our 7. So we can write 23 plus 7, and after 30 hours job 6 may go out from M2. What is the idle time for M2? Again, if you see, there is a no idle time. After 23 it is free, and job 6 has come at 23. So no idle time. So next, for job 1, job 1 again it will enter 90th hours. What is the processing time? 8. So we can say 90 plus 8, that is 27. After 27th hours it will go, or it will go out from M1 and it will enter M2. But M2 is not free. M2 will free after 30th hours. So our job 1 has to wait, and it will enter at 30th hours. So now 30. So what is the processing time in M2? M2 is 7. So that is 30 plus 7, and it become 37. Again, what is the idle time for M2? Tell me. There is a no idle time. 30, and it enter at 30. So there is a no idle time. Okay, now for job 5. Job 5 again it will enter at 27. Okay, what is the processing time? 10. So 27 plus 10, that is our 37. Okay, so 37 is the process. Now when it will enter? So let's see. After 37 hours it is completed, and our machine also free after 37. So just at this moment, no need to wait for job 5 as well as machine M2. So when it is going out? So it is going out 37 plus processing time in machine 2, that is 6. So 37 plus 6 is how much? This is our 43. No idle time similarly. Okay, so next we have job number 3. Job number 3 will enter into M2 or M1 machine 1 at 37th hours. Okay, what is the processing time for job 3? That is 12. So 37 plus 12, and it become how much? That is our 49. Okay, so now job 3 left M1 at 49 hours. Okay, but our machine M2 is free at 43 hours. So when our job 3 will enter? At 49 hours, because it is not completed. Until it not completed, it can't go to machine 2. So we that job 3 enter into M2 or machine 2 at 49 hours. So 49, and when it will leave, 49 plus processing time is 4 for job 3. So 49 plus 4 and it become 53. Now what is the idle time for M2? Tell me what is the idle time. Let's see. 43, but our job 3 has entered into 49. So means there is a 49 minus 43, that 6 hour M2 has to wait for job 3, means idle time for M2 is 6 for this. Okay, so that how to find the idle time for machine and what is the job flow time. Okay, so now after this we have to find some parameters that we'll see. Okay, so first one that we have, that is known as make span time. Okay, so first is our make span time, and in short we used to call this as a MST, and this MST is defined as the total completion time for a set of job from beginning to end. Means that here set of job is 6, so for total 6 job is completed from starting 0 hours to final completion. That total working hours is known as our make span time. Means here we have this 53 as a make span time, so we can call this as a MST. Okay, so it can be written, it is the completion time for a set of job from beginning of first job. From first job of the completion of total set of job, the time is known as make span time. So we can write this MST for this particular set of job is 53. Whatever the unit hour stays, that is our MST. Okay, next we have job flow time. Next we have job flow time. So how can I define job flow time? Here already I have written at this table that this is job flow time. Means for a single job from machine 1 starting 0 to completion of in machine 2, the total working hours is known as job flow time. Means for single job the completion time is known as job flow time. Okay, so we can write this, it is the time of completion of a particular job. Okay, so we can write that job flow time for 4, job flow time for 4 is 17, job flow time for 2 is 23, job flow time for 6 is 30, like this. Okay, next we have another term, that is average job flow time. Average job flow time used to define, or it is the ratio of total job flow time to number of job. Okay, so total job flow time we have 17, total job flow time we have 17 plus 23 plus 30 plus 37 plus 43 plus 53 by total number of job is 6. So whatever the calculation will come, that will be our average job flow time. Okay, next we have average number of job in the system. Average number of job in the system, so that is the ratio of total job flow time, this is the ratio of total job flow time by MST, max span time, that will be the average number of job in the system. Okay, so whatever the calculation will come, so that we will see. Next, that we have already seen the total idle time of M2. So we can write here that total idle time for M2, this is how much, 3 plus 6, that is 9. Okay, so we can say this total as a 9. So this is the all parameters we need to find. So this is our sequencing, and how to make a sequencing of n job 2 machine, how to make the sequence, and after that how to find the idle time for machine 2. Okay, so after that max span time, the total completion time of a set of job is known as max span time, that is 43, and job flow time for single job, whatever will be the job flow, that is an average job flow time, total job flow time by number of job, average number of job in the system is this one. Okay, so with this our sequencing is completed for n job on 2 machine. So next we will see for another topics. With this completed. Okay, thank you, and subscribe the channel for getting the next lectures. Okay.